There's been some request for an explanation of how to aim a cut shot. There's also been a question about how to or what the effects of English are on aiming a cut shot. Before I go into that, I would like to encourage everyone to take advantage of the instructional materials that are on the market. Bob Byrne being one. He has great videos and great books. Cool Cat Martin being another. And there are several other books. Phil Capel, for example, are superb teachers, superb writers. And it's also good to support them with buying their material. I don't think there's none of these videos that you're going to see that are put out by the pros, by the real pool instructors. You're not going to find those on any file sharing site. Trust me, I've looked. But I've never minded going out and patronizing these guys, and supporting them with my money. No matter what pool skill that I'm talking about, I can't stress this point enough. Pool is a game that's done by doing it. What I mean by that is it's something that's done physically. It's not something that's done with words. It's not really, there's thought that goes into it, but it's not your mind only. It's your body having to execute a physical skill. And the best way to learn a physical skill or a physical process is by doing it. So to learn anything, including aim, you always want to go to the table with that. There's no real magic bullet. There's no magic piece of knowledge that's going to automatically one day you're going to know how to aim. Now you certainly have to have the knowledge, but it's something that you have to perfect by hours of practice. And another point that I want to stress, and as many videos as I make, I'm going to stress this point again and again. It's not good enough. If you're a serious pool player and you want to get better, and if you're a serious golfer and you want to get better, a serious tennis player, just simply going out and mindlessly doing it, like for example in pool, just scattering balls on the table and running balls, you're not going to get very much better. If you do drills and you're just doing drills, that's also a waste of your time. You're not going to get better. You want to do drills where you have a goal, where you have a performance expectation, and you want to start from the simple, and you want to observe what you're doing. For example, when we start discussing the aiming of a cut shot, if you do it wrong, if you miss, you want to reflect. You want to think about, what did I do that was wrong? And when you do create the desired outcome, at the moment after you've executed it, you want to try to remember how that felt. You want to try to remember what you did, and you want to try to duplicate it. And all this whole process is done by hours of repetition. Now, with all that in mind, we're going to dive right into how to aim a cut shot. And here I have an object ball, and I have the cue ball. Now, the very first step is you want to draw a line between the center part of the pocket, the desired pocket, and the center part of the object ball. And you want to, and for some people that's a difficult thing to visualize, but it's the best way that I've found to conceptualize a shot. Then you see where the cue ball is. You make a mental note of where the cue ball is. And then by using your stroke, you want to make the cue ball contact the point where the line that comes from the center of the point passes through the object ball. Okay, now here is a very common misunderstanding about aiming a cut shot. And this is really a pitfall of a book or reading a book where people misunderstand advice. Now, if you draw that line, a lot of the mistakes that people make when learning how to aim is they draw the line between the center of the pocket and the center of the object ball, like I talked about earlier, and they line up the cue ball. They take the center of the cue ball to touch that point. But if you aim like that, the cue ball is going to come up short of the pocket. Now, I didn't. Let me repeat that again, because this is a very difficult misunderstanding to kind of get your mind around. Many people come from the center of the pocket through the center of the object ball, just like we talked about earlier. Now, a lot of times what they do is they say, okay, I'm going to take the center of the cue ball and make contact with that point. But what happens is, it being an optical illusion, more of the left side of the cue ball, you're not actually touching that point with the point of the cue ball that you think you are. Okay? And that's a common mistake that people make. How I like to think of it, and how when I was a beginner, I would visualize aiming a cut shot, is I would draw the line from the center of the pocket to the center of the object ball, and I would imagine the position of the cue ball. And a lot of instructors call that the ghost ball. So imagine this, here the 11 is another cue ball. What I would do is I would line up the pocket with the ball. I would imagine where the key would need to be, and then I would try to place the cue ball in the position of the ghost ball. And if that's not clear, again, I encourage you to use the other resources that are available in the books and videos. They may do a little better job of explaining it. Now for the discussion about English and aiming a cut shot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss it once from this vantage point with the webcam, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to demonstrate it looking straight down with the webcam. There's a physical effect for all you science gurus, or for all you science buffs out there. There's a physical dynamic at play with a cut shot that you might not expect, and this physical dynamic is friction. When the cue ball contacts the object ball on a cut shot, momentarily the cue ball grabs on or sticks to the 13 and pushes it. It starts to carry, the cue ball begins to carry the object ball in its same path before it starts to deflect, thereby pushing it off of that line that we discussed from the center of the pocket through the center of the cue ball. So imagine, I'm visualizing my ghost ball. My ghost ball needs to be here to make the shot. Okay? I'm visualizing the object ball traveling this line with the ghost ball. I'm aiming it perfectly. But what I also have to consider is that when the cue ball arrives perfectly at that where I expect the ghost ball was, upon contact, it's going to carry the object ball offline a little bit, and it's going to land here instead of going down the line that I expected. Now you might ask yourself, how do I take care of that? How do I deal with that? And all you have to do is shoot a little outside English, in this case right side English. If the cut shot were reversed, it would be left English. Another way of saying it is using outside English. I would use a little outside English whereby making the cue ball spin. And hopefully with the red dimples you can see that the cue ball is spinning. And what happens with a spinning cue ball is the throw effect is reduced because the cue ball spins off of the object ball, reducing the time that it carries the object ball offline. And the official pool term for this is the throw effect. So again, to reduce the throw effect, or to reduce the friction between the cue ball and the object ball, whereby throwing the object ball offline, You use a little outside English, and the cue ball spins off of the object ball, and it goes down the desired path.